The North Carolina Military Business Center is a statewide component of the community college system. It's a business development organization that focuses on government contract opportunities and connecting those to businesses across the state, helping them bid and helping them win contracts and grow jobs in North Carolina.
So the North Carolina Military Foundation is a private economic development shop. We focus on the DoD and Homeland Security sectors. We focus on three areas, working with our political leaders, both at state and federal levels, our military commanders, both here in North Carolina, as well as the commands that they report to, and the private sector. And we bring all of those folks together in order to grow our $66 billion defense industry. First and foremost, it's working with Scott's organization, particularly if you're a small business and you're interested in understanding how difficult it can be sometimes to work with the military and the government in general, but the military specifically. So there are some things that you need to know before you make a strategic decision to enter that marketplace. But I do think that North Carolina has an extraordinary opportunity, given the commands that we have here in North Carolina. Those are the end users, the customers. So you're right next to the folks that are going to use the products that we're building. I think the second thing for North Carolina that really overweights towards what we have going on here is that we have a very innovative economy. So we have a lot of small businesses that are grown out of our amazing university system. So we have a lot of answers to the challenges that are going to be happening 3, 5, 7 years out. And the big BAE, Lockheed Martin, are sometimes just not equipped to be that innovative. And so connecting them with our small businesses here in North Carolina is an incredible opportunity for us.
Well, certainly it can be difficult. There's a lot of opportunity out there. So that's the key word, though, is opportunity. I mean, the government buys everything. The federal government's the biggest customer in the world. So we encourage businesses, large or small, and 23% of government contracts are set aside for small businesses, to consider getting into this market. There is not a lack of opportunity. There's a lack of businesses that are engaged in this market right now.
Absolutely. So, first of all, again, North Carolina in particular, this is an amazing opportunity for North Carolina. We exit about 25,000 active duty soldiers, sailors, Marines into the private sector every single year. And we have almost 800,000 veterans here in North Carolina. So we have a population that is ready and willing to go into the workforce. We also have a very robust economic development engine that is trying to grow businesses here in North Carolina and also recruit businesses here in North Carolina. The first question that always comes up is workforce. And so the fact that we have got this workforce that is already highly trained, we've already spent billions of dollars training these folks. They have amazing skill sets, hard skill sets as well as the soft skill sets. They show up to work on time, ahead of time. They are drug-free. They are amazing team players. They are resilient. They're problem solvers. And they are clustered heavily in Eastern North Carolina. Eastern North Carolina in particular is very difficult for our companies and corporations and our recruiting to bring companies in. That is a ready-made workforce. So I've never heard anyone say I don't want to hire veterans, but I have heard a lot of people say, I'm having trouble finding talent. I'm thinking about going to South Carolina instead of North Carolina because I have workforce issues. And the veteran population really is an offensive weapon for the state of North Carolina to fill those critical gaps.
Tremendous success. We do about $2.5 billion a year in prime defense contracts. It has spiked up around $4 billion a year when we had a recent construction wave, and it's all types of things. It's construction, it's products, it's services, and that's only prime contracting. So if you look at $2.5 billion in prime contracting, there's a lot more subcontracting and a lot more supplier activity that's not reflected in those numbers. But even at that, there are 84 counties in North Carolina that had at least one defense prime contractor in 2015 and over 90 counties that had a federal prime contractor. So this happens all over North Carolina. It's not an Eastern North Carolina phenomenon. This happens all over our state. I think they'll have an idea of two things. One is about our infrastructure of resources, and one is about the scale of the opportunity. We have the best infrastructure of any state, I believe, to start businesses and grow businesses and help businesses in North Carolina leverage new markets. We have a terrific state infrastructure with community colleges and university, small business technology development center. We have private resources, associations that help defense contractors. So we have a very mature infrastructure to help businesses leverage opportunities. The second word is opportunity. There is incredible opportunity for businesses in any part of the state of North Carolina to either do prime contracting or subcontracting. And again, they have the resources to fall back on, and we really need the chambers to get engaged in helping us reach those businesses that can leverage this market.
Well, they should be able to enter the website ncforme.org, NC, the number 4, me, and that really lays out a playbook as an employer in the private sector as to how do I connect to that veteran population and how do I match my critical skill gaps, my critical talent gaps with a ready-made military workforce. So first of all, I want everyone to be able to do that and know that we have given you the easy button and figure out how do I contact these veterans. That's the number one question we always get. Because again, I've never heard an employer or CEO say, we don't want more veterans. They all want more veterans, but historically we've really had a challenge in the private sector. Just the way that we hire, our HR infrastructure, and understanding how the talent maps over to the critical gaps on the private sector side. And so I really want to give our leaders the easy button and let them understand that there are mechanisms, there is that infrastructure, as Scott talked about, working with Department of Commerce, working with the private sector, and really NC for Me, bringing all those folks together. There's an amazing opportunity to go in literally the day after the conference and start meeting those hiring gaps.
I'm a retired Army officer, 22 years almost in the United States Army. I was a field artillery officer. Started out, was in the Persian Gulf War as an artillery battalion executive officer. I was also a foreign area officer, which means I had a chance to serve as a defense attaché at our U.S. Embassy in Nicosia and twice in Athens, Greece. So it's a great opportunity to get around the world and represent our country to other countries, and that was a great experience.
Well, I was very fortunate. I got to be in the Marine Corps as an officer out at Camp Lejeune, so very, very fortunate. From South Louisiana and first college graduate in my family. The Marine Corps paid for my college. They have put me together with the most amazing group of individuals I could ever imagine. My best friends to this day are the folks that I met in the Marine Corps, and I really owe them so much. And I had such an amazing tour. And just the mission and the ability to serve, and then the connection to this greater community of veterans is something that is invaluable. I'm so lucky.